us today, Andrew.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Kenzie.
So I know I told the listeners a little bit about you already, but why don't you go ahead and just share a little bit about yourself and who you are?
Yeah, so I feel like the first question people ask is, well, where are you from? I get that a lot, with what I do for work. I'm a hiking, backpacking guide. We'll probably talk more about that later. But, and I'm always like, I don't really know. Like, I genuinely don't know where I'm from. I grew up in a military family. I think by the time I was like midway through high school, I had lived like 8 or 9 different places. And I was born in North Carolina, if anybody cares about that. But, I don't have a whole lot of ties there. And then now, I'm 35 now. I think I recently counted. I've had an address 16 different places. So, it's about every 2 years on average a move. So I live in Grand Junction, Colorado. My wife and I moved here back in the fall. But yeah, where I'm from, I don't know. So I kind of have that like military background, not that I was in the military, but my dad was, that rambling wanderlust that I think once it's in your blood, it's kind of hard to get out. What I do currently, so I've kind of had, I guess in a career realm as well. I don't know that I've ever had a career, number one. I've had a number of jobs. But careers, I guess I served as a youth pastor for about 6 years. So I was in full-time ministry. I got a Masters of Divinity. And obviously like faith is still, a key part of my life. But for, just some various reasons that we'll probably end up talking about at some point in this episode. Yeah, I'm not in full-time ministry, in terms of like, that's my job, that's my vocation. And I'm working part-time as a ski instructor this winter at Stawiąrd. I've been hiking and guiding hiking and backpacking trips for about the last 5 years out west in Utah, Wyoming, and Arizona. So I should say I got married about 2.5 years ago. So we don't have any kids yet, but yes, I'm married happily. My wife is a speech pathologist, and so she's got the real career. I always joke she's the sugar mama, and I'm figuring out my way, what I want to be when I grow up.
Absolutely. And you just launched a YouTube channel. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, the YouTube channel is called Desert Drifter. I've always had an interest in history. That was actually what I majored in college. I went to Virginia Tech. If anybody knows anything about Virginia Tech or a tech school, tech schools are generally focusing on tech. And most of my friends at Virginia Tech were engineers and, sometimes like in the business school, but a lot of engineering there. And I was the lowly history major, which I just wanted to study something that I liked. And at the time, I actually had thought that I might work with the National Park Service at some of the historical sites. But anyways, the channel sort of is a combination of my love of the desert Southwest, my love of history, particularly the history of that region, and then, outdoor adventure. And so far, so good. There's people watching it, and we'll kind of see where that goes. I don't identify as like, I'm a YouTuber. Like, I think, I'm 35. Like, YouTube didn't really come around till I was probably in college, I think. So, I know, like, I talk to some people younger now, and it's like people aspire to be YouTubers, they're growing up. And for me, I'm like, like I sort of am like bashful about it. Like, I've posted some videos onto YouTube.
Yeah.
But I'm doing that.
Yeah, it's super cool. And I love that you have kind of found a way to incorporate all of your things that you love into one thing. And I love whenever that happens and we can kind of align all of our passions and find that, niche that is needed in the community and fulfilling that need. So that's really cool. So I know that you talked about being a hiking and backpacking guide and also being a ski instructor. With those let's talk about outdoor recreation and what that looks like for you, being that it's your job, but also doing it in your free time.
Yeah. So I dabble in a lot of outdoor activities. Obviously, I like hiking and backpacking. I generally like when I can combine those things with something like, maybe summiting a peak or visiting some sort of significant archaeological or historical site, or just exploring like new terrain. I love, all of the landscapes of the West. And so, yeah, hiking and backpacking are big. I love to ski. And so wintertime has new meaning for me now that I'm out West and we've got a lot of mountains and skiing out here. I dabble a little bit in some cross-country skiing, but yeah, downhill skiing is a bigger passion for sure. I canyoneer. Canyoneering's grown a lot. I don't know how many of your viewers know that, but if you're like, what's canyoneering? Basically, you go down slot canyons by any means necessary, whether that involves ropes and rappelling or down climbing. So yeah, it's kind of been this small niche sport that has gained more popularity as of late. I do some rock climbing. I guess the one thing I love whitewater rafting. I haven't done a ton of it, but now that I'm in Grand Junction, I'm hoping to get a raft this season and do some of that. So yeah.
Brief of Andrew Cross has come out on their website, the GoFundMe page, and actually broken the silence about Andrew Cross, thanking all the fans, everyone who has prayed for them. In her own words, she said, my name is Evelyn Cross. Hi everyone. I'm not someone that's typically very active on social media, public platforms, but I felt compelled recently to share with you all. Please bear with me as I attempt to put together words to describe what's on my heart. Thank you. Those two words don't seem to do justice. The overwhelming gratitude I feel for so many people that have prayed, sent cards, flowers, gifts, emailed me, donated, created videos in Andrew's honor, posted to the Caring Bridge obituary page, YouTube comments, stepped in to take things off my plate, etc. I have months worth of little treasures ahead of me to sort through. Thank you. One of the things I'm learning about grief is that it's love's twin sister. To know so many people are grieving, for Andrew, is to know that so many people first loved Andrew. The beauty of the reality has left me with a deep sense of awe. The weekend before the car accident, Andrew and I got to go a little mountain retreat, and Andrew was stoked on the snow and wanted us to get into the mountains for the weekend to unplug from our phones, connect with each other, give thanks for the past year, and dream about the year ahead. It was a weekend I'll always treasure. One of the things that came from the weekend, and it was this sense that we are supposed to lean into the world, joining the word joy in the year ahead. I've thought about that often since January 31st. I've dwelled on the fact that Andrew is getting to experience the fullness of joy of all the eternity right now. It brings a smile to my face just reading and imagining that. And while I'm mysteriously still on this side of heaven without my love, I have been genuinely astounded that I've somehow been able to experience and recognize a great deal of joy, beauty, and goodness myself in the last month or so. What's even more astounding is that it's truly the purest joy I've ever felt. The waves of grief come frequently, often unannounced, and they hit hard. So it was a long statement, and of course she thanked all the fans and everyone who actually has prayed for her and her whole family. We are praying for Andrew Cross, and of course messages of sympathies are being sent from